computer and we're good to go. It is so beautiful here in Massachusetts today. We have just had steady rain. We had some sun on Saturday, and I got wonderful tickets to go to the Red Sox game on Tuesday night. And I was so excited, but I got to tell you, I had my winter layers on underneath. I had layers and layers. It was 41 degrees at the park. I had my down coat, my gloves, my scarf. I was super toasty. It was fantastic. And it was a record-setting game, even though we lost. But so good to be here on a sunny day with you. So what I'm going to do before we get started, Sylvia, and I'm so excited to hear and talk about your topic, is I usually give a quick kind of a time saving or some kind of a digital marketing tip today. And I always kind of wait to see what people have been asking about during the week. And so it hit me this morning. I was at a networking meeting this morning, and Margot Crawford, who is a productivity expert, was the presenter. And I always love Margot's tips. In fact, I loved her tips so much that we're partnering up to do a webinar on June 6th on saving time, being super productive in your social media, like getting in, getting out, do what you have to do, and don't waste time, because you've got better things to do. You've got people to help. You've got conversations to have. And in fact, like today, I've got a beach to walk on because it's sunny out, and it's only going to be sunny for like 24 hours. So I want to be super productive. One of the things, I know you and I were talking about this just a minute ago, is that like time suck of trying to set up an appointment to talk. When are you free? Oh, I'm free. Oh, I'm not free then. I'm not free Monday or Tuesday. How about Thursday? Between whatever it is, that ping-ponging, Margot calls it ping-ponging. And she gives some really good examples in her talk about if you're just emailing back and forth. Well, how about we meet? I'm free Thursday at 2 o'clock. If that's not good, give me 3 times that works. So that's one way to do it. I would say that an online scheduler has changed my life. And I think you and I use Acuity. Yeah. And so for anybody who finds the same thing, that it's hard to set up times with people, and then you lose the email thread and the meeting doesn't happen, I'm going to just share my screen for a second so you guys can see what my online scheduler looks like. I use Acuity. Other people use Calendly, Scheduosity, Book Like a Boss. There's a bunch of them. I happen to use, Acuity just because I started with the free and then I went to the paid. And the reason I went to the paid was it automatically syncs with my iCalendar. And I love it. So this is what it looks like. And you can set up your regular hours. So you can see that Monday morning, I have saved Monday mornings for my deep work time, and also Wednesdays for my deep work time. So I don't take calls during that time. Once in a while, I'll say to a client, listen, if you really can't find a time, let me know and I'll fit them in, not in my deep work times, but in some of these other times. And then so those are my regular hours that I will take calls. And it shows up in the calendar. When people book, or if I put something in my own calendar, it gets blocked out. And it's just so easy. I have the option of appointment types. You can set up different types of appointments. So I have a 20-minute, that's my get acquainted call. I've left 10 minutes on each side, 10 minutes at the beginning to kind of make sure that I'm getting my act together and really focusing on the call, the person, learning about the person that I'm going to speak with. And then 5 minutes after to regroup, or in case our call goes longer. I have my client time is 2 hours, a 1-hour consultation, and a check-in for 30 minutes. And so those are the links. Each one has their own direct link. And those are what I'll share with people depending on what kind of appointment we're trying to set up. It makes it super easy for them. And let me show you what it looks like on my calendar. So the yellow ones are people that used my Acuity to get onto my calendar. The green blocked out times are times that I've blocked out on my calendar. And the white are times that are still available. I'm going to apologize for my dog who really wants to go to the beach today. So if you guys are having that confusion of, oh my gosh, it takes so long, and then you get, you can't really find a good time, and then it gets lost, I highly recommend one of these schedulers. I have a link on my About Me page, on the sidebar of my About Me page, that will bring you over there right away. All right, so we're good to go.
That's great. I really appreciate what you do, and also the feedback that you have. So, and I think for me, I really like the acuity.
Yeah.
I also have a EHR. Because I'm a coach and also a therapist, I have an electronic health record as well as.
Oh, yes.
And so then that makes it harder for me to have like lots of open times for people to book calls through coaching, because I can't sync the EHR with the acuity calendar.
Can you sync it with your, do you use iCloud or Google, or what's your regular calendar?
I can sync it with iCal. And
then, so if that's what you would do, you would sync your EHR with your iCal, and then your iCal would sync with your acuity.
But then if someone books through acuity, then I wouldn't be able to see it on the EHR.
I see what you're saying.
So that makes it hard for me.
Yeah. So for your coaching, they have to use the EHR, but for like chats and just conversations, you would use acuity. Is that how it goes?
Yes.
Yeah.
Kind of. Yeah.
Okay. Have your own thing. Well, let me introduce you for real, Sylvia. Sylvia DeMott, mindset coach Sylvia DeMott, is a psychotherapist turned entrepreneurial mindset coach. She helps women entrepreneurs who feel like they're not really measuring up to get out of their own way so that they can grow their business and still live their version of a good life. I think she's talking to all of us. She's originally from New England, and Sylvia currently resides in Rochester, Minnesota, with her 2 school-aged kids, Forrest and Dahlia, and their cat, Lavender.
And now Blue, too.
Oh, you have another cat, too?
Yeah.
Well, they keep each other company, I'm sure.
Yeah.
When I asked Sylvia, what is your superpower? She said, my superpower is my ability to find ways to help people motivate themselves and to show up both authentically and vulnerably. The name of her business is Sylvia DeMott Coaching, and I am so excited today to talk about exactly that topic, being authentically ourselves to grow our business. Thank you so much for being here, Sylvia.
Yeah, thank you. I really appreciate it. It's so nice to see you, too.
It is nice to see you. You know what I want to tell you now, because I might forget. I think I forgot to tell you at the beginning, so everybody knows now how I do things. I will be on the live answering any questions that come up, and also on the chat here if any questions come up. And I'll be typing as you're talking. So if I'm not making eye contact, I'm super sensitive to that. It's because I'm typing, because I want to catch up with everything you have to say.
That's okay.
Good stuff. Let's do this.
Can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
What excites you about the topic?
So you and I know each other through the Bold Heart program. And before I got involved with Bold Heart, and I was growing my business, I thought I had to be a certain way. Mm-hmm. I had business people advising me, don't use the word like, don't use the word I feel, dress a certain way, behave a certain way. And it didn't feel like flow to me. And it wasn't until I was immersed in a community and with leaders, role models, who were very, very successful, who were presenting as their true self. They were with integrity, and they were authentic, and they talked about their struggles in an authentic way. And it made me see, they're not so perfect. They just live within their own imperfections, and each time they get better, but nobody's ever perfect.
No one is ever perfect.
Once I made that switch, to say, I am just going to show up. Here I am, just showing up and
Yeah.
loving what I do and be really good at what I do and really make a difference in people's lives. As long as I do that, I can just show up. Thank you for asking that question.
Yeah. Thank you for answering it. I understand that too, because I felt that as well. And there are times when I continue to feel that way, that I have to be something different than myself. And when I was younger, I remember just wanting to, before I had my own businesses and, after I graduated from college and was looking for jobs living in Boston, wanting to work at these very prestigious places, wanting to get these prestigious graduate degrees and feeling like I had to be something different than who I really was, which was, having to show up in a way that would be very aggressive or very confident or very assertive, when really, what I am, not that I'm not those things, but I'm softer.
Mm-hmm.
I'm more sensitive. I'm a
And
bit
so,
more silly and playful than any of those things.
right. And so when you work with the people so who are you working with? Who are your
Yeah,
clients?
so I work with women entrepreneurs,
Mm-hmm.
oftentimes solopreneurs or women business owners with a small group of employees. Some of them are in helping professions similar to what I am in, and some of them are in other types of businesses. And can you see me okay?
I can. Can you
Okay,
hang on one second? What I'm trying to do.
okay.
Can you hear this? Can you hear your own voice?
Yes, I can.
I know. I want to stop that. There we go. I had to mute myself. I had to
Okay.
mute because I want to answer some people on Facebook. I'm so sorry to
Oh,
interrupt
don't
your
worry about it.
flow. So
I'm glad, I'm glad that I want this to be a conversation. So I don't want to feel like I'm doing a presentation.
awesome. Awesome. So you're working with these people.
Yeah, and I'm helping the people whom I'm serving. I'm really helping to help them get out of their own way, to show up as themselves. To even you're going to ask a question?
Well, I was going to ask, I think part of a lot of it is that sometimes people don't know that they can get out of their own way. Sometimes they think this is just the way it is.
Yes. Yes. And so that is kind of working to help, to partner with someone to see that they are limiting themselves, that they're not seeing beyond their nose, that
Yes.
they don't see that this is possible. They don't see it's possible, and yet it is. So, taking someone who is seeing something in like a tunnel vision and helping them to see like that there's so many more opportunities. They just have to be willing to do it. And then helping them to understand, or partnering with them to really understand that it's possible if they think differently around it.
Right. So when people come to you, how do they know that that this is what they need? I have to say, so I'm going to go back. So
Sure.
I before Bold Heart,
Yeah.
I didn't understand coaching. I understood community because I was the director of the Women's Business Network for so long. And I understood the idea of being around people where the rising tide rises all boats and that you collaborate. But the idea that there would be one person who wasn't going to do my accounting, wasn't a lawyer, wasn't going to do my graphics. It was somebody who was going to help me with my I didn't even know what limiting beliefs were. How do people figure it out and then find you?
Yeah, and I think that's something that I'm still working on as well, because from my therapist background, that's like where I come, that's my language.
Mm-hmm.
And so then I have to portray it in a language that people understand. But it's really about feeling stuck, feeling procrastinating,
Yes.
certain doubts, it's thinking that you should be doing this, but feeling like you can't be doing this. Staying up at night because you're having trouble kind of following through with a decision that you've made, for instance, that you need to change something in your team, or maybe you need to fire someone, but you can't do that because you feel as though you would be really hurting that person to do that.
Mm.
Feeling as though you can't be visible, that to do the things that you need to do to grow your business, that you'd have to become someone that you're not to be able to market your business. Like, let's say that you're in a profession where you just want to do what you do and you're very good at what you do, but that doesn't involve speaking in front of other people or using social media. You know, if you're like me, like not too long ago, I didn't want to have to speak in front of people. And I actually did not see it as a possibility for myself either, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
You know, you get to a point where you feel tired of being held back by things. You get tired of yourself for getting in your own way.
Yes. So, all right, so I'm going to ask two things then. So the first thing would be, what are the types of questions that you would ask your clients? And then the follow-up would be, if you don't mind sharing, what would be some of the tips that you would give people in order to shift their mindset or to get by some of their limiting beliefs?
Mm-hmm. You know, I think I start off the coaching with like a 2-hour in-depth session to really understand where the person is coming from and what they're looking for. This is after they've decided they've invested into coaching. And so I would be asking them about what they want, you know, the difference. One of the interesting things between therapy and coaching, and I'm a therapist as well as a coach, although they're two separate hats. But really, but coaching is about moving towards your full potential. So seeing what your vision is, you know, what is it that you would want to do if you had no fear? What is it that you have to serve to others? What is it that, if you could live the ideal life that you want, if you could have the business that you want, if you could create, you know, the ideal day for your life, what would that look like? And then to kind of step back to see, well, what is getting in the way of moving in that direction? And then that's where you start to encounter, you know, the beliefs that get in the way, like the stories that you're telling yourself that you can't do this, or that that's not possible, or that you know, you're never going to be able to charge what you're worth because people aren't going to pay for it, you know, those kinds of things. And so, you know, that is ultimately what I love doing, like why I love working with women entrepreneurs, is because you have to grow yourself to really grow your business. You have to be willing to step outside of your comfort zone. You have to kind of expand what you see as possible. And that's something that you absolutely have to do in a business, and what I've been having to do myself, which is why I so connect to other other women who are in the same boat in this process. What was the other question you asked?
So then so those are so good. I wrote them all down in the chat too. So those are great questions. Also, those are questions people maybe have and they don't even realize that they have these questions. So then, if you don't mind sharing, what are some of the tips that you give people to help them navigate towards the other side of that? If you have this limiting belief or these limiting beliefs, how do you get by those limiting beliefs? Is that even a thing? And the question you said, what would you do if you had no fear? What is it you have to offer others, but what's holding you back?
And I think one of the things is that when you might not recognize that you have a limiting belief, but you might feel very stuck, and you might feel really like, I don't have any other choice. And so to recognize that I do have some other choices and that other people have figured this out too. I am not at the effect of a situation. And I think within coaching, a lot of it is you're not becoming someone else. You're becoming more of who you are by shedding those limiting beliefs and thoughts that keep you from showing up who you are. And so a lot of it is even just validating that this is okay how you feel. Like, you don't need to judge the feelings that you have, because oftentimes we think we should, and then we feel very guilty about that. You know, we think we should be this, or I'm a horrible person because I can't do this. And I'm a loser. I'm never going to get there. No one wants, one of that I recently started doing Facebook Lives in the last 3, 4, 5 months.
I've noticed.
And, there was a point where I was saying to myself, no one wants to hear what I have to say. And I realized that, this isn't going to get me that far. If I go into a Facebook Live thinking that, And so recognizing this is what I'm telling myself. So it's about being aware. This is the story I'm telling myself. And yet I can do this so much more effortlessly if I have this other thought, like the thought that I now say what I say to myself now, the affirmation is, I have something important to share, something that allows you to feel supported, encouraged, and loved.
I love that.
So recognizing the thoughts and feelings without judging them, and knowing that, we all have these stories that we tell ourselves, that come from our past, that come from whatever it is. But just, you have to notice what's going on in your head before you can offer something different. And I think being kind and not beating yourself up. So not saying, and recognizing, like if you're comparing yourself to others, like stop comparing yourself. Let go. It's okay. It's okay to be imperfect too. Being imperfect is what it is. And knowing too that vulnerability is where we have love, where we have belonging, where we create things that other people can't create because we're not us.
Right. So good. So I get that now, and I didn't get that then.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking about somebody who I know is a real power player, right? Like she is a power player. Well, I guess so, in thinking about what she does, right? And she's speaking at high level events and taking meetings with high level people. I would imagine she's gotten by her limiting beliefs. And maybe this is her new, I don't know how she feels about what she's doing. I don't actually know where I'm going with this. Since she's very successful, I guess that's not an issue. But I suppose that at some point she realized, I am a power player. I'm going to step into my power and do this. But for people maybe like you, maybe like me, where I grew up painfully shy.
Yes.
And so introverted. And I took to digital marketing because it gave me time to sit and put my thoughts in order and check them again and check them again before I hit the publish button. But then at some point you do have to get out and speak with people and present and grow your business and understand that you do what you're saying, right? You are providing something of value. And you're doing nobody a service if you don't let them know about it.
Yes. But the one thing I want to say, even that person who is the power player, who, is giving all these presentations and meeting with all these important people and looking very successful, that, we're all human. Right. And really, if we're feeling vulnerable and if we're trying to keep growing, we will feel uncomfortable. And we will have self-doubts because that is the nature of who we are. And so everyone experiences it. It's just that there are different levels of that. And that, you get to one place and then like you've probably done these enough times that these aren't as scary as they might have been in the beginning.
Oh, exactly.
Yes. But
and they're my answer to what you were talking about, because I knew I needed to do Facebook Live. I knew I needed to show up, but it didn't. Same as you, like I know I have something to share, but the whole talking to a screen, empty screen didn't work. And my legacy, what feeds my soul is connecting people, and in particular women and heart-centered women entrepreneurs to others. that's why I had the Women's Business Network for so long. And now I'm in this other collaborative. And so when I realized, oh, I can show up and I can bring somebody along with me every week, that felt like integrity, and it feels like authentic to me.
That's great that you have that. And it's so funny because to me, like if I were to do what you're doing at this moment, that would, I mean, this is actually scary for me too, but that would be scary too. Like, until I got used to it.
Yes. Well, that's the thing, right? Little
Yeah.
steps. And I
Yeah.
don't know if I've ever told you that, but that's why I got these white glasses, or my power glasses. They give me superpowers.
That's cool. And what powers do they give you?
It gives me that I can put away my introvert, and these are my extrovert glasses, so that I
Yeah.
can present as a confident professional.
Yeah.
Yes. It's funny.
There is so much strength in showing up as who you are.
Yes. So true. I have to say, I just looked at the clock and time went by so quickly.
Oh, wow.
I know you and I could talk forever, and we'll have to talk privately again for sure. What I'd love to do is give you an opportunity to, first of all, tell people where they can find you, how they can work with you, and any particular offers you'd like to make to anyone who's listening to us today.
So I'm Sylvia DeMott, and you can find me at sylviademott.com. And you can book a call with me if this speaks to you, if you resonate, if there's an area that you're stuck in, that you're procrastinating, if you're struggling with perfectionism or feeling like it's hard to do certain things. And maybe your business and your life aren't meshing together. Those are the things that I can help you with. So I do offer a free 45-minute call, and I do have acuity, like Susan said, although if you don't find a time, because I only have limited times because I have this issue with my different schedulers, then feel free to email me as well. And that's it. And I also, I write blog posts and I write blogs. And so if you go to my homepage, you can also sign up to get on my list, and you'll get things that I don't share in my Facebook Live. So you'll get more information. So, that is that.
Awesome. So Sylvia DeMott, and I'll put the links on the Facebook Live and also in the blog and on the YouTube station, so people will have no trouble finding you. If anybody is wondering, follow Sylvia, follow her on her Facebook Lives, follow her blogs. It's like, what's that word people are, I don't know how to say it, but it's spelled Hygge.
Oh yeah. I don't know how to say either. Hygge or comfort.
Right. Comfort. And that's what I feel from Sylvia. Every time that I speak to her, it feels comfortable. It feels like she's bringing me to a comfortable place so that I can move forward and be who I'm supposed to be and serve those who I'm supposed to serve. I'm so glad that you spent this time with me.
Yes, I appreciate that. And I'm not there to judge anyone. Right. So I'm so glad that you feel this way, because that is what I want you to feel.
Awesome. Thank you.
Yes.
I'm gonna say goodbye. I'm going to stop the Facebook, all these technical things. Stop there. Bye guys.
Bye-bye. Thank you.